Imagine this: the roar of the crowd, the tension in the air, and the weight of a century-old rivalry pressing down on two young quarterbacks. But only one emerges victorious, silencing the doubters and reigniting a team's championship dreams. That's the story coming out of the Texas-Oklahoma game, where Arch Manning seemingly outdueled John Mateer in a game filled with pivotal moments and surprising performances. Let's dive into 5 key takeaways from Texas's hard-fought 23-6 victory over number 6 Oklahoma in the annual Red River Rivalry showdown at the Cotton Bowl. 1. Playoff hopes still alive in Austin. The Longhorns are not dead yet. Sitting at 4-2, with 2 games already logged in their SEC schedule, Texas needed this win badly. Last week's shocking loss to a struggling Florida team threw their college football playoff aspirations into complete disarray. Saturday's triumph over a top 10 opponent breathes life back into those dreams, keeping their hopes for a conference title appearance alive and potentially pushing them back into the AP Top 25. This victory was more than just a win. It was a statement. Texas has now claimed victory in 3 of their last 4 meetings with Oklahoma, marking their first back-to-back wins in this historic series since 2008 to 2009. The Sooners had enjoyed separate 2-game, 3-game, and even 4-game win streaks in the intervening years, making this Longhorn resurgence all the more significant. 2. The turning point, a cascade of errors. Heading into the 4th quarter, Texas clung to a narrow lead. Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer, a Little Elm High School product, attempted to spark a comeback with his legs. He broke free for a 33-yard run down the sideline, seemingly propelling the Sooners into the red zone. But here's where it gets controversial. A holding penalty negated the gain, and on the very next play, Mateer tossed his 3rd interception of the day, a pass that Texas cornerback Grayson Littleton easily snagged. Texas failed to capitalize, going 3 and out, and kicker Mason Shipley's 56-yard field goal attempt fell short. But the Sooners couldn't seize the opportunity. On their subsequent drive, Mateer threw a backward pass that was fumbled out of bounds for a devastating 13-yard loss. 2 plays later, they were forced to punt. Then, disaster struck. Texas receiver Ryan Niblett fielded the punt and blazed 75 yards for a touchdown, extending the Longhorns' lead to 20-6 with just under 10 minutes remaining. Oklahoma's subsequent turnover on downs sealed their fate. Manning versus Mateer, a tale of 2 quarterbacks. After a week of intense scrutiny, Texas quarterback Arch Manning delivered a performance that outshone his counterpart. He completed 21 of 27 pass attempts for 166 yards and a touchdown, crucially avoiding any turnovers. And this is the part most people miss. Manning achieved this despite playing behind an offensive line and running game that were not consistently dominant. He showed poise and efficiency, managing the game effectively. Mateer, returning from a thumb injury that had sidelined him since September 20th, appeared rusty and uncomfortable. The Washington State transfer completed 17 of 31 passes for 167 yards, but threw 3 costly interceptions, giving the Longhorns multiple opportunities in the second half. Did the injury hamper his performance, or was it simply a case of Manning executing better under pressure? 4. Offensive line play, a work in progress. Texas coach Steve Sarkisian emphasized before the game that his offensive line needed to elevate their performance. And while there were flashes of brilliance, consistency remained an issue. In the 3rd quarter, for example, the line provided Manning with a rare clean pocket in the red zone, allowing him to connect with DeAndre Moore Jr. for a touchdown, giving Texas a 10-6 lead. The Longhorns also managed to string together 4 runs of 5+ yards on that drive, setting up the scoring opportunity. However, it took them a half to reach that level of cohesion. In the first half, Oklahoma's defensive line dominated, racking up 6 tackles for loss before halftime. Penalties, including a false start and a holding call, further stalled the Longhorns' offense. Manning was frequently under pressure, limiting the Longhorns to short passes and screens. Only a third of his first-half completions gained 10 or more yards, and only one, a 24-yarder to more, could be considered a significant play. Can the Longhorns fix this inconsistency to truly contend for a championship? 5. Hometown hero shines. Texas cornerback Malik Muhammad, a South Oak Cliff High School alumnus, located just 20 minutes from the Cotton Bowl, and a two-time state champion, looked right at home on the big stage. Muhammad intercepted Matia twice in the first half, helping to limit the Sooners to just 2 field goals. His first interception came on an undercut route near midfield, while his second occurred in the end zone just before halftime, preventing Oklahoma from extending their lead. What do you think? Was it just the familiar environment, or does Muhammad's skill elevate him to a higher level of play in crucial games? It's worth noting that the junior defensive back missed the previous week's loss against Florida due to injury, highlighting his importance to the Longhorns' defense. This game was a roller coaster of emotions, a battle of wills, and a showcase of young talent. It leaves us with plenty of questions. Can Texas build on this momentum and make a serious run in the SEC? Will Oklahoma rebound from this setback and challenge for the conference title? And most importantly, who will emerge as the true star of this rivalry in the years to come? Share your thoughts and predictions in the comments below.